Steadily interviewing.
Plenty of time, they won't be ran fast.
Nice example of the rusting roller. Ruston and Proctor. And there we are now, the first of our miniature steam. Please don't go away thinking these are model steamers. They're not model steamers, they're miniature steam engines. Models are just ornamental things. And all the miniature steam locomotives that we have out here in the arena, I think all the ones I spotted yesterday anyway were all based on full-size steamers. Every now and again you get a freelance engineered miniature, but from what I've seen out here so far this weekend, we're all based. The local firm. And here's an agricultural engine inching its way gently towards us now, with lots and lots of local history. The Mclaren. Once again, another engine we don't see a lot of on the circuits in this part of the country, but the Mclaren produced a very reliable and sturdy locomotive. Now this particular one, you'll see the name there, it's known as the favourite. Well, there's a good reason for that. Now, the Mclaren was produced up there in Leeds, but you look at it and it's got a Hampshire registration. And it's got a Hampshire registration because that is where it's lived for the vast majority of its life. And it was based in Bishop's Waltham. It was owned from new down there in Bishop's Waltham by a local agricultural contractor, and in the end, when the use of steam was finished there with the contracting business, the engine was sold away. But the family in later years were able to buy the engine back again, and it's still back with the original ownership back in Bishop's Waltham again. Beautifully looked after and always welcome here. The Duke Kent, that's an engine that we've seen around for quite some time in Preston, built in 1930. So in 1930, this was fitted with pneumatics when it was built. Because in 1930 they'd been turning over to producing Sentinels with pneumatics without any questions asked. Sentinels were a very rapid steamer on the road. They were capable of producing speed very quickly and efficiently. Pre-1930, the Sentinels would have been on solid tyres. Solid tyres, and you can only run them at 12 miles an hour on the road. Pneumatics, and you can do 20. The Sentinel could do 20 without even stopping to think about it. Very much in the terms of a modern commercial vehicle. The Sentinel was forward-thinking in many, many ways. Because it's got a vertical boiler, not a horizontal boiler. The vertical boiler has its own problems, but the horizontal boiler is probably easier to keep clean and maintain. But the vertical boiler, which was used too by other manufacturers, and you can see there's a little steamer not quite in steam yet, making its way around the showground, and this is based on the Atkinson, which was once again a vertical boiler. Royal Folydale, I see, is the name of this one. Well, I think this is based on the plans of the old Royal Chester, the Alchin steamer. Going past the commentary point now, and you'll see this is absolutely right the way the vehicle would have looked when it was working. It's the foam. Foam's made a range of steam wagons, what we refer to today as steam lorries, although Sentinel were very, very keen on keeping them as wagons. But Wagons were producing, once again they had an eye to the future, but the trouble with Wagons was for a long, long time they thought the future was steam. And in the end, they lost the march when one of their family left and started producing ERF diesels. The Foden now, just going past the commentary box, is a Foden steam tractor, as you can see. And now we have the, is this a 5-tonner, would it be based on? It's one of the longer wheelbase Fodens, so it could well be based on the 5-tonner. Now, Wallace and Stevens Liberty. We've got the assortment of transport coming from the family that's brought us this one this weekend. I see they don't actually... Wallace and Stevens, made at Basingstoke, they are our local to Hampshire here steam engine manufacturer. They weren't the only one because Tasker's also built steam in Hampshire. Burrells now, represented by this roller, a much heavier one. Daffodil's a good heavy roller. Burrells and Marshalls particularly specialised in the very heavy road rollers. Road rollers initially were designed for stone crushing and pushing down and crushing road beds into place. Tarmac hadn't come in when the steamroller was first put out there to work. With the onset of tarmac, of course, they had to look at something a little bit different and go for a roller that would be a little bit more versatile because of the situation when you're changing direction with a steamroller. The majority of steamrollers, you've got a period of dwell just for a moment in between gear changes. And if that is extended for any reason at all, then you get a dent in the tarmac. Not much liked by the road laying engineers. So there's Daffodil, beautifully presented there. The Borough Steamroller. Dates from 1924. Now for an Aveling traction engine. As I said, most people think of Aveling as only producers of rollers, but they weren't. They produced stationary engines at one particular time, portable engines, steam portable. But this particular traction engine that you see going past us now, it's in agricultural spec, but it would probably have been owned by an estate at some time, because it's a dual purpose. Probably a sawmill to drive and agricultural machinery to run as well on the fields. Now the Aveling Porter just gone past us now, the little road roller, the little steam tractor there, and this is Smoky, and it was built as a steam tractor for Kent County Council. Avelings were actually built down at Rochester. Thomas Aveling was a farmer on the Romsey Marshes, Romley Marshes, and the little road tractor there, Smoky, was built for the Kent County Council. Now the Garrett. And this is a little Showman's locomotive, which we come to be quite familiar with down here at Netley Marsh, because it's lived in the area for quite some time, and it was developing its personality as a Showman's locomotive when I first remember seeing it. But this is Katrina, and it's the Garrett. So we've seen quite a number of different manufacturers' products out here in the arena so far. Burrell, Fowler, Garrett, they're all there. Supplied by the garage agents at the time, right up in Worcester. So this engine's moved around quite a bit. Back to Burrell now, and this is a road tractor. It's not an agricultural engine, it's a road haulage tractor. Plenty of power here developed as a twin cylinder. Now here we have a very, very typical Aveling product, the Aveling roller now. A regular at Netley, and it's had a lot of work done to it over the past few years. It's really come up looking beautiful now. Nick Field from our house was owner of this one for a very long time. And if you look at the back wheels of this roller, you'll see that there's a scraper blade fitted to the bodywork of the roller that protrudes and sticks out by the back wheels. Well, that's for scraping off sticky tarmac off the wheels as it goes round. And now we've got the Sentinel, which had a little hiccup yesterday. Well, we've cured that, I see. Nobody's saying anything, but it was obviously a job for the big hammer overnight. But the Sentinel's been cured, and it's running out for us today. Another example of the Sentinel engineering works up at Shrewsbury. Now Titans was actually brought down from Scotland to this part of the world, and it's been at Netley Marsh now for I don't know how many years, a long, long time. A regular exhibitor at Netley Marsh. We're always pleased to see them back. Now a heavier example here of the Kent manufactured road roller. It's amazing how many enthusiasts there are in the New Forest area for the world of steam. There's always been a very strong following down here. Steam rallies have come and gone in this part of the world in the 50 years that Netley Marsh has managed to keep going. And it hasn't been easy over the past couple of years, especially with the lockdowns and the COVID situation. So many rallies have been forcibly closed because they literally run out of the funds to keep going. Netley Marsh have been very fortunate, and they've been managing here to stay alive. Now there's the Marshall steamroller, another example of the heavy steamrollers here. Of course, steamrollers weren't always, when you're talking heavy, there was 12 and 15 tonners that were actually produced at different times. I think the heaviest Aveling that was built went straight across to New York and worked on the roads over there. Always stands so beautifully proud, this one, doesn't it? Every time you see it, Malcolm, doesn't it? This one just sort of stands up there and looks so very much apart. Progress, Showman's road locomotive. Some Showman's road locomotives were actually built for the purpose, and some were converted from other steamers that had previous existences before they went onto the showground. But Progress here is one of those engines that we know as a Showman's locomotive right through. Stephen's roller now. Now you might think, just by way of observation, as these engines are going past you around the arena, you might wonder sometimes about who's exactly driving it. Well, the steering wheel that you can see there, that is the steersman actually that's working it. That's the person responsible for the direction the roller's going in. The engine driver is standing next to the steersman. And on the majority of the steam locomotives that we've got down here in the arena, it will in fact be in that position. There are right and left hand drives available. The steersman wasn't always on the same side. Now we have a failure here. And you see the water tank capacity there on this failure. It goes right underneath the boiler on both sides. Capable of doing quite a lot of work in a day, a steamroller, and they needed to be backed up with enough water at all times. Once again, the scrapers there for removing tarmac. I haven't yet seen a scarifier in place, but of course they'd be on the other side of the rollers to where the commentary box is at the moment. Unloading. And you'll notice some slight differences to this engine when you look at it. And it's one of 76 examples that were exported to Australia in 1929. And then it was converted in 2004. And it's an ongoing restoration project, and we're really looking forward to seeing this one coming along. Now the Roby, an engine that once again is well known in this part of the world and a regular at Netley Marsh. You'll notice this particular Foden that's making its way past us now is quite well equipped with lights. Well, they would have been, if they were all lit and all working, it would have been obvious, but not obvious in the way that the electric lighting that we're used to on cars are today. And they may not have been a lot of use to actually seeing when you were putting the vehicle. Because those are right back into when your lighting was pretty well only a glimmer. It's the next stage up from the candle lamps that were on horse carriages. So this is the oil lamp now, and you can see it there on the phone, which is just going past us. King's actually operated a whole fleet of these phones. Some of them were even three-way tippers, which meant they could discharge from to side as well as backwards, which was very, very handy for the majority of work that the Lydians that Kings were doing down at Bishop's Lydian. They were the Somerset road layers. Quite a lot of fresh paintwork now on Moby. last but definitely not least, this is one time Ron Giddings was responsible for bringing us this every time down here at Netley Marsh. Great to see the final engine there making its way past us. And of course those were the local timber merchants. Their advert actually was in the very first programme for the first Netley rally right back in 1971. There's our second Garrett Showman locomotive. Lady Olivia. The teenage sensation that's sweeping the nation. You like what you see on the outside, you're going to love what you see on the inside. You're going to see all those tricks and stuff. Plus many, many more performed on a 20-foot high over making a surface. So coincide is now in the right place at the right time. And you know that it's shaking inside that big coffee. Come and join us now and relax in the cool of the shade. Just coming up now to complete the line-up. Last call, ladies and gentlemen, the riders have nothing for me. They are ready to go. Once these engines have stopped moving, then last call now, last call, it's showtime, it's go time, it's moving slow time. Last call now, ladies and gentlemen, last call, you're in the right place at the right time. Last call now, last call, we are going to unleash those motorcycle maniacs any moment now. Every motorcycle riding, last call, Mr. Roberts. Well, 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 Royal Star to Wallace and Stevens. Last call, ladies and gentlemen, last call. And you aren't there anymore, you're in the right place at the right time. There's no waiting, there's no hesitating. Last call now, last call, it's showtime, on the wall there. The riders are ready, the motorcycles are ready. Last call now, last call. The riders will be going back to the inside any moment now, ladies and gentlemen. They will be looking for Sentinel and Untitled. That's firing out there, traffic about the motorcycle. Ready to divide them gravity once again. Last call now, last call, come and join us, ladies and gentlemen. Just gently bringing these steamers into line now. Taken in hand now. We're having a salute from Netley Marsh, a steam salute, just to tell everybody that we've got a steam fair on here this weekend and no mistaking. Steam salute, gentlemen, please. Come on, hands on those whistle cords. That's it.